Christmas in Jamaica is one of the most celebrated events of the year, but sadly, many people need formal hospital treatment every single year for injuries like cuts, burns, falls. The list goes on and on during this festive occasion. Very concerning, too, with alcoholic beverages being served generously. This can be the worst time for road accidents. Here to tell us more is Dr. Kathy Ann Williams. She's the NCD Risk Factor Program Development Officer at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Thanks. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, you heard me mention them, the general accident types. I don't know if you wanted to add to that, if there are others, or just how
Sure,
prevalent the
absolutely.
ones that I've said occur.
Sure, absolutely, Delia. So when you look at the Jamaica injury surveillance system, we do surveillance for injuries across the country. And right off the bat, we see road traffic crash injuries in December. They are highest in December. We're looking at data from 2016 to 2020. And every December, we have 700 plus road traffic crash injuries. And that's the month with the most road traffic crash injuries. Our young males are the ones that are mostly affected by these road traffic crash injuries. They tend to be the drivers. The drivers are the most affected. And secondly, we have our passengers, and our passengers tend to be females. And then we have our bystanders in third position, who are again our males. So we have an issue there with road traffic crash injuries. And right off the bat, I just want to give advice. We need to be safer on our roads. We need to obey our road signs, look out for our pedestrians. Our pedestrians can wear light-colored clothing. It's getting a little bit darker earlier in the evening,
Yes.
so that we can be seen by the drivers on the road. Obviously, don't drink and drive. That's an issue there as well. I can quote another study, the National Drug Household Survey study done by the National Council on Drug Abuse showed that 1 in 6 males admitted in that study to driving under the influence of alcohol or illegal drugs.
Wow.
And we have data for our females as well, 1 in 17. So putting the road traffic crash injuries going up in December with that propensity towards driving under the influence, we have an issue there. And it's costly.
Yeah.
When we look at it, about 14% of our road traffic crash injury victims had to be hospitalized over that period. And for one typical victim, it's about 9.3 million Jamaican dollars for the complete cost of care,
Wow.
including loss of income from not working for that period. So it's a big issue in December. So let's be safe.
You know, and you mentioned something, and it sounds simple, but many don't think about it. It really is very dark. Gets darker earlier. Not all the areas are lit. And if
Right.
you're driving, sometimes, I see the pedestrian coming out of darkness.
Right.
So wearing lighter colored clothing is,
Clothing, right.
please, I just wanted to reinforce that because it's important. So we're looking at the road accidents. I don't know how many times we're going to tell them to slow it down and
Yes.
to be careful when they're on the roads, because it can be such a deadly thing. And in the Christmas holidays, the hospitals tend to become overwhelmed, and they're already overwhelmed with what's going on with the
And we're in a
pandemic.
pandemic. We're
All
in a
right.
pandemic, so we have that issue there as well. And we don't want to compound it by things that are preventable,
Yeah.
such as road traffic accidents.
Road traffic accidents seems to be the number one thing that happens during the holidays. Because I did mention burns and cuts, but it doesn't seem like we have a lot of that in comparison to the road traffic
Sure.
accidents.
Sure, Delia. So generally speaking, for the other areas that the Jamaica Injury Surveillance System looks at, we look at violence-related injuries, we look at accidents, so unintentional injuries, and we look at attempted suicide injuries. And
Wow.
so we look at those, and I can speak generally to say it's Christmas time. We're probably home a lot more. The kids are home from school, and so we have to keep an extra eye on our kids for falls and that kind of a thing. So keep an eye on our kids where that's concerned. We're at home. We just came out of looking at International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls 2 weeks ago. And we know that even with this pandemic, there's an increase in violence at home. And we look at our intimate partner violence, and we see that those injuries are happening at home as well. So I just want to highlight one of our support services, the Dispute Resolution Foundation, and other support services that we have listed on the Ministry of Health's website. so that we can get that support for our families. We're at home, we may have some conflicts, but we don't want it to end up in injuries or intimate partner violence. So the help is there, the support is there, and we encourage persons to reach out where that is concerned.
Yeah.
Christmas, again, I'll just highlight, is a time when persons are together with their family, but some persons aren't, and some persons may be lonely at this time. So we may have some mental health issues. I'd like to highlight our mental health hotline number for Jamaica. That's 888 New Life, 888 New Life. You can always call that hotline number at any point in time to get some help, to get some assistance, especially during this time. That's happy for some persons, but sad for some. And as I said, our families, let's reach out, let's video call persons who live far away, and let's all keep in touch and have a great, safe Christmas together.
4 out of every 10 Jamaicans are expected to suffer from a mental illness over the course of their lifetime. And I feel like in times like these, in the pandemic, it just makes that so much more because people are struggling,
Absolutely.
and so it's important that we reach out. You're dealing with NCDs, and this is the time of year when we toss the NCDs, the concern, through the window, and we consume the sweets and the carbs, and we drink.
Yes.
What are your words for us, Kathy, heading into NCD
Everything
purgatory in
in
January? Tell me.
everything in moderation.
Yeah.
And that, I'll just say that initially. For our diabetics or hypertensives and other persons with non-communicable diseases, we know that the temptation is there, but we have to be safe.
Yes.
We find, it is not specific data, but in general, persons eat up, drink up, utilize their alcohol as well, as we spoke about. And January morning, as people will call it, the hospital has persons coming in with glucose that is out of control, persons having strokes, that kind of a thing. So we need to practice from now. We're at December 7th. We need to practice from now. Everything in moderation. There are Christmas cakes that don't have sugar in it. There are other alternatives to sweet drinks, especially for our diabetics. And we can watch our salt as well for our hypertensives. Ensure that you would have had your visit with your doctor as well, your annual checkup, so that you can know where you are in terms of non-communicable diseases. Get support from someone that you trust to help you to be responsible with how you eat and drink this Christmas.
All right, great words to wrap this up on. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Doc. Very important. And I'm going to repeat the light-colored clothing because it's something that can save your life. So make sure you're wearing it. Dr. Kathy Ann Williams, the NCD Risk Factor Program Development Officer at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Still to come, we talk luxury PR with Kessie Gardner. News in 5, though, is next.